will see how to create the filter for skincare products. So now you see I have the list of skincare products. So as of now I have displayed only 4 products per page. If I get into page number 2, you will see the other 4, and if you get into another page, you will see the another product. So as of now I just have only 9 products, so that's why on the third page we have only 1 product. Now so this skincare product is differentiated like what are the skin type, either it's oily, either it's dry, it's a combination, or a sensitive, or a normal, or skin concern. Either you have acne, either you have dark spot, either you have dryness, either you have wrinkles. Based on that you can sort. So I am sorting for wrinkles, the cream for wrinkles, and for acne, and for dullness. Along with that, if I click on reset, it will get resetted. And let me choose for the dry skin. So this product is for the dry skin. These 2 products are for dry skin, and this is for sensitive, filtering by sensitive. Click reset, and based on that, whether the skincare product is cleanser or face wash or moisturizer or sunscreen. Let me select sunscreen and click on filter. The product related to sunscreen will show up. So now you see this is how the filter is going to work. Along with that, you can see there is a range selector. So this is for the price. If you want the product to cost less than 500, and if you click on filter, you will find in the filter the products which are less than 500 rupees will show up. So you can see in the price it's 349, it's 299, and 499. Similarly, you can go even smaller. Now only 2 products are available for below 400. I click on reset, and also here the combination is going to work. Let's just see sensitive, acne. So this product is for sensitive and this product is for acne. Cool. I hope I have made the use case of the product. Now let's get into the development. So before that, what are the things that we are going to learn? Here we are going to see how to create a custom shop page. So here you see this is the custom shop page, and we have added pagination feature, we have added the filter. Also you see in this product card, these are coming from meta fields. So what do I mean by that? So this is a product where you will be inserting your product information. Along with that, you have 2 custom fields. One is skin type and one other is skin concern. So these 2 values I have fetched it and displayed it in the card, so that the one who is viewing this page don't have to worry about which skin product is for which skin type and for which skin concern. So based on that, I have fetched the values and displayed in the card view. So we are going to see how to create a custom field. So you can see these 2 custom field, and we will be using this custom field in the card view, and we will be creating custom shop page. And in the shop page you will find we will have the custom filter where you can filter by skin type. Also the pagination, if I click on reset, you will see the pagination. For page I have just displayed 4 products. So just to explain you how the pagination would look like, how it operates, that's the reason I have added it. Fine. Without wasting time, let's get into the code. For the first and foremost thing, what we need is we want our plugin to be displayed. Let me just get into plugins. Let me just deactivate our plugin and start creating our plugin. So to have your plugin, you need a folder in your WP content. Inside WP content we have plugins. Inside plugins we need to create a folder called, let's just name it as skin, and inside skin you need a PHP file, and this PHP file should be same as your folder name. So here this PHP file is going to be skin.php. Cool. Now you need to have some information like what is the name of the plugin, what is the name of the plugin, what is the description of the plugin, what is the version of the plugin. So for that we need to give the metadata. So we give metadata with the help of PHP command. So this is going to be the plugin name, this is going to be description, this is going to be the version number. Now if you refresh the page, save and refresh the page, you will find your skin filter, skin shop filter. The name which you have given here shows up, skin filter or skin shop filter. Now if I activate, nothing will happen. Now what I need is, if I activate, I want a custom field on the shop. So if I click on add new product, and here I need two custom fields just below our product description. Let's do that. We need to register the meta field, and here it is called meta boxes. So I'm registering the meta box. So this is the handle, so WordPress can identify, and this is the information which you see as a title. So you can give product description. So this is the skincare details, and this is the function that will render your HTML, and this is the post type. I'm saying I want this meta box to be on the post type product, and this is the sequence, whether to be displayed on the just below your product description or whether to display on the sidebar. I'm saying it just below, just display in the normal way, just below our product description. And this is the priority, whether to show just after the product description or after, whichever way you want. I'm saying the priority should be high. That's the reason you will find your custom field just below your product description. Now you need to define this function, and inside this function you need to define the HTML, and now it's going to be a static HTML. Now you see I have two input field, one for the skin type and one for the skin concern. So I want you to notice the name, because this name attributes is important. Name is responsible for storing these value into the database. Now we have skin type, we have skin concern. Along with that, once the data gets saved, we want the saved data to be as a value. So that's the reason I'm fetching the values and displaying it over here. We don't need this slice range as of now. Now these data gets stored into the WP post meta. So to access the post meta, WordPress gives you a function called get post meta, and to update the WP post meta table, we have update post meta. Now we have rendered the HTML. Now it's time for, once I click on update, what happens? I want to save these values. To save this value, just like we have get post meta, we have update post meta. Let's do that. And when the post gets saved, this hook gets called. So save post product, and over here I'm checking whether the name attribute has some value. If the name attribute has some value, then use the update post meta and save the value into the key. So this is the key where in the WP post meta table the key would be stored and the value would be stored accordingly. So this is key, and the value whatever you enter into the HTML field will get saved as a key value file. So this is key, this is value, this is key, and this is value. And in the shop page, if you want to use the value, we will be using this key to fetch the value accordingly. I'll show you when the time comes. Now if I refresh, you'll find the two custom fields, and before that let's make sure our plugin is active. That's only when you will see our input field. Now if I have activated the plugin, and just below our product description we should have two input field. Cool. Now that's enough. Now the next thing is, I want to create a custom template for the shop. Now I need to say, whenever Woocommerce looks for shop page, I want my shop page to show up. So my shop page I'll be creating with the help of archive-product. So for all the archive, for the custom archive, WordPress gives you a way to rename. So archive hyphen, so this is my custom archive, so I'll save it as custom product. So this is how Woocommerce also created the custom archive page. They have named it as archive-product. So if you want archive for author, you will be writing this. If you want archive for date, this will be it. If you want archive for anything category, this will be it. So as of now, let's just focus on custom shop page. The custom shop page is nothing but a archive page, and this archive page, we need to define it. So let's just create an archive page. Let's just save it into a folder called templates. Inside templates, I want a new file called archive-product.php, and let's just save it over here. Now I need to say to the WordPress, whenever WordPress looks for archive page, show my archive page, and that I'll show with the help of a hook called template redirect. So it's called template include, and I'm saying whenever WordPress looks for this page, I'm saying to the WordPress, go to my plugin, and in the plugin you'll find a folder called templates, and in the folder you'll find a page called archive product, and show this product. Since my product is active, now if I get into the shop page, since my shop page is blank, you'll see the blank shop page. That is why Woocommerce respects my function and displays my archive product. I will see whatever I type here will show up. Now over here, what we need, this is an archive page. In archive page, what will happen? Usually all the values of the archive would get displayed. So let's do that. Let's just call the shop header. So that's when you will find, and now you see the header has come up. Now let's focus on the query. So over here I'm drafting the argument. I want the post type to be product. I want for page 4 product, and this is for the pagination. I'll show when the time comes. Since we are using meta field, so this is for the meta field, and this is for the taxonomy. So we will be using taxonomy as well. I'll show you where I have used. And as of now, let's just make the meta query and tax query as blank. Now let's execute this argument. Now I'm passing the argument to the WP query, and based on that, this query will hold all the datas. Now without filter, all the values is in this query. Now let's try to fetch all the products. Now I'm checking if the query exists, query has a product, then get the key which we have stored. So these are keys, and this is the taxonomy. I'll show you. I'm just displaying it in the div. So let me just try refreshing it. Now you see without CSS, this is how it looks. So let's add CSS as well. Now to add CSS, we need to enqueue the CSS. And how are we going to enqueue it? In the style.css, I'm going to create a style.css in the root directory. We don't have to worry about what each CSS does. If I refresh, this is how the card is going to look like. Now I'm just saying this is going to be handle, and where to read my CSS. In my plugin folder, I have a style.css. Just read it. I'm saying it to the WordPress, and WordPress read it and display the product, display the card with CSS. And one for taxonomy and one for product price. So this is for the product price. Now if I edit a product, so you'll find products, add all products, and over here you'll find the prices over here, and the taxonomy is over here. You can see product tax. So I'm getting the product tax, and I'm getting the price, and I'm displaying it in the card. That's it. Now let's create a filter. So this filter is going to be static. So let's do that. So it's going to be the select tag. Inside select tag, what we have. So let me just have this inside folder div. So that's how I have written it. Written the CSS. Now you'll find over here we have the static array, and I am populating the option tag with the values in the for each. So this is one. Again, this is a static array. I'm populating the option tag. Again, this is a static array. I'm populating the option tag. Now you'll find all the values will not this, so this is not working. It's only because we are checking dynamically from the query string. So if there is any value in the query string, if that matches with any of these drop down value, that will set to true, and once that set to true, it will show up over here. I believe I have made it clear. If that doesn't make sense, just rewatch it again. I'm going to repeat it again. So this selected is a WordPress helper function. This will compare your values in the drop down with the values in the query string. If both of them matches, then those would get selected. So that's how the WordPress helper function does. Now we don't have to worry about it. Now what we need, if suppose I select this and click on filter, those value would get stored over here. You see, I want to fetch those value, so we can fetch those value with the help of get parameter. So let me just use the get parameter here. So if the skin type is set, then store it into a variable, and this variable would get checked. Now this will work. You see, dry, if I click on filter, those dry would get stored over here, and even though the page got refreshed, the dry stays here. It's because of this helper function selector. Let me just show you again. If I click dullness and click on filter, and the page would get refreshed. Even though the page got refreshed, you can see the dullness and the dry is on the URL string. It would get compared with the values in the drop down, and if those matches, then the selector will return true, and this would get selected on page refresh. That's how it works. Now again, we have received the values. Now we need to get this value and send it to the meta query or tax query. How are we going to do that? So we have two fields, one for taxonomy and two for custom field. Not to worry about this. And if there is any value in the query string, and we need to differentiate. Some of them are for meta field. When it's meta field, it's called meta query. When it's taxonomy, it's called tax query. So if any of them has value, then attach it to the meta query, and this is the key which we have set when creating the custom field. This is key, and this is the value from the get parameter. This is key, this is value from the get parameter. Again, for price, it's little complex, which is, if I make this any value, let's say 1800, we need to compare. I want a value which is less than 1800. That's the reason compare less than equal to, and the type that I'm going to pass is numeric. So that's the two line which differentiate the price meta field with the other meta field, which is compare and type. And finally, so this is coming from the product tags. So you see, product tags. So for product tags, the key is product tag itself. For input field, these two custom input field, we have our custom key, and for tags, WordPress gives you a custom keyword which is product tag, and the slug is the value. So what you type here, let's say serum. If I click on filter, the serum will get passed into the URL parameter, and this would get fetched over here with this term, and we are matching it with the slug. So this serum will actually, so it's little different. When it's custom field, the data will get stored into the WP post meta. When it's taxonomy, the data will get stored into the taxonomy term taxonomy table. So the in post meta we have key value, but in taxonomy we have slug and term. Slug and term. Slug is nothing but key, and the term is nothing but value. So that's the intro. Now if the value gets populated, so based on that, our query arguments query arguments will have the tax query or meta query. Based on that, our query has the argument, and that argument will run a WP query, and that WP query will have our data. Now if I refresh again and look for some values, let's say dark spot, click on filter, I think let me just reset and select only oily. All the values are displayed. That means there is some problem. Let's check what it is. So that's the argument placement that made this issue. That worked. Now let's focus on the pagination. So pagination concept is very simple, as we have already seen in the previous video. We just need paginate link. That's it, and everything will do its work. So we have the query args. So you can see we have passed the query args, which we will get from the current main query. what do I mean by main query? So whenever there is an archive, WordPress will run its main query, and that main query will have so many number of argument, and I want to pick only one argument, which is current page. What is my current page? And that argument is paged. So in the main query, it has so many attributes, so many key values there. I just want only one key, which is paged, and I'm storing it into a paged, and I'm passing it to the pagination. That means my current page is paged, and total number of page, and this is the list. How do I want to look like? And for the preserve args, even after the page reload, I want this data to persist. So for that, we would be creating an array. That array is called preserve args, and this preserve args will have key value, whatever you have in the get parameter, and I'll store it into a key, and that key I'll use it in the pagination. So you can see preserve args, and that's totally it. You'll find the pagination at the bottom of the screen. We have pagination, and it would work fine. If that doesn't work, there is one more thing that you have to do. Since you are creating your custom shop page and you are setting your custom per page how many items should be there, so we need to explicitly say to the WordPress that I want so and so number of page, so and so number of product in a page, and this is how we say it to the WordPress. Like, with the help of loop shop per page, I want 4, and that's it, and your pagination will start to work, and this error will go away. You can see if I click on 3, it will go away. Also, there is one more thing, and if now I'm in page 3 and I look for dark spot, it will work fine. It's because in the form we have a parameter, we have an action attribute that you have to set, or else the value will not show properly. So action, so WP get page for value shop. On each submit of the filter, you want the URL parameter should only direct to the shop page, not anywhere else. Like usually when you are in third page, and this is how WordPress will default append to it. We don't want our query parameter to append to this number. So instead, on every form submit, I want all the values to get into this URL. That's why I'm passing the action as this. This is the thing that I have learned very late, but it's very useful. So 2 things. One is this one, loop shop per page, because WordPress collide or conflict with our own code and its internal code. So to make it clear, I have found these 2 fixes, which is loop shop per page and the action attribute to the shop page, and rest everything will work as intended. Product below 2200, and it's there, and I want only the dry skin product, and it's there. Cool. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for listening.